Thank you, Carrie. Good morning. My name is Tammy Smith, and on behalf of Superintendent Hoffmeister and the Oklahoma State Department of Education, I would like to welcome you to this webinar for the homeless application in GMS. And so let me go here and log on inside the single sign-on. Where you don't want to forget your login information. Okay, so you're going into your grants management, and I am just going to pull up one of our LEA sites that have the McKinney-Vento grant. So you should create a Title IX-A homeless application down here under federal programs. We're just going to go through each tab this morning. If you have questions, put them in the chat box, and I will answer those at the end of my presentation. Okay, so here is the overview, just talks a little bit about the McKinney-Vento subgrant. Go to the contact information. The superintendent's information is going to automatically pull over from assurances. If this is not correct, you need to go in and amend the assurances and correct the information there, and it will pull over here. You're going to enter a name and contact information for someone who we can get a hold of in the summer if the homeless liaison is not there. The homeless liaison contact information goes here. And if there is someone else that's going to complete the application but doesn't necessarily if the homeless liaison is not necessarily the person that we should contact about the application itself, if you would complete this information here. Supporting documentation. This year we're asking that all of the subgrantees upload their entire grant application, not just the budget page, but the entire application. That way our reviewers will have it and they can see exactly what your intent and purpose was in requesting the grant, so they can make sure everything lines up. Know that if that's not uploaded, our reviewers are going to send it back to you so that you can upload it. So remember to do that the first time. You're also going to upload here any other supporting documentation that you think that the reviewers may need. That could be contracts, if you're contracting with someone, anything that you think would be helpful for the reviewer to have as they are reviewing your application here. Budget page, allocation page is here first. Budget detail, you're going to click on your site, the district site, and then you're going to add what you are spending those funds on here. I want to encourage you to be very descriptive. The more descriptive you are, the easier it is for your reviewer to know what it is that you're wanting to spend those funds on. Keeps you from, at the end, thinking that you were asking for one thing, they interpreted it to be something else. So if you're more descriptive, everybody's on the same page, right? This will need to align with what you have sent in on your budget originally with your grant application, okay? So make sure that what you're asking for here meets the intent and purpose of what you asked for in your grant application. For example, if you indicated a need, let's say for mental health services maybe, we should see that here on the budget page, as well as a contract if you're contracting with someone over under supporting documentation. So don't try to throw in something new here that doesn't meet what you asked for in your grant application, because we're going to send that back to you as well. Notice this was pointed out to me this week. We do not have 2330 listed here, so those things that we thought were going to be under 2330 will be under 2199. Budget summary, this automatically fills in after you do your budget detail. personnel page, this is where you're going to list if you're using any of your McKinney-Vento grant funds to pay personnel. This is where you're going to list those personnel. When you put them in at this time, you're going to see that their status will be a U for unverified, okay? Until we can get them verified, that's what it will be. A will have to be there if it's for personnel listed as 207, 210, 211. If the personnel are not consistent with the data within the accreditation system, there will be an I. You will not be able to submit that to us. So it has to be an A or a U if they are 207, 210s, 211s, a U if it's another job code. And then once SPR system goes live, all personnel will need to validate and have a V. Tutor, this is where you're going to list any tutors. Remember that the job code here has to be 415, and the tutors have to be certified in the subject areas at the grade level that they will be performing the tutoring for. Job descriptions, this is where you're going to put the job descriptions for anyone listed on the personnel or tutor tabs. Again, the more descriptive you can make that, the better it is for the reviewer when they're reviewing. When you have everything in, you're going to run your consistency check. Once that is good, then you can submit it to SDE. That is pretty much the homeless application. Short and sweet this morning. Are there any questions about the application? I have it over here. I can see the chat box. I just can't show it to you. But Gary's coming.
What do you want to show?
Marina asked that I show the chat box, and I don't know how to put it there.
You can do it. You can just drag it.
Okay.
But there's not many.
But there's not any questions yet. So this is pretty self-explanatory. If you were with us last week when Nancy went over the consolidated application, she did a really thorough job, and so I'm just kind of doing a follow-up. My job was easy. Nancy was the hard hitter and did the hard work.
The whole thing.
If we did not get the full value that we applied for, do we need to resubmit a budget to you or adjust it here? You will adjust it here. I don't need necessarily a new budget. If you'd like to include your new budget with the new amount here and upload it with your supporting documentation, that would be helpful to the reviewer, though. Good question. Any more questions? Okay, I don't want to take up your time. I knew this was going to be short this morning. If any of you have questions, reach out to me, call me, or send me an email. And I thank you for getting on and attending this morning. Have a great day.